Do you feel the weight of your thoughts pressing down, heavy and unyielding, as if your mind itself is a room filled with clutter you cannot clear? Imagine for a moment that there is a door, and behind that door lies a space untouched by the chaos of your daily life, a sanctuary where your mind can breathe, stretch, and reshape itself. This is not a distant fantasy. This is the 5-minute monk ritual, a practice so deceptively simple, yet so profoundly transformative that it can rewire the very architecture of your mind. In just 5 minutes a day, you can begin to dissolve the walls that limit you, the mental barriers that have silently dictated your choices, your moods, and even your destiny. You may think 5 minutes is too short, too trivial to matter, but the monk will smile and tell you, time, when aligned with intention, can bend like clay in your hands. You are about to discover a ritual that is less about movement, and more about awakening, less about effort, and more about alignment. A ritual that will invite clarity, calm, and insight into the corners of your mind where shadows once lingered. The first step is perhaps the hardest because it asks nothing of your body, yet everything of your presence. Sit down, find a place that allows you to feel grounded, whether it is a chair, the floor, or a quiet corner. Close your eyes, but do not force them shut. Simply allow the lids to fall, as if they too are willing to take a breath. Place your hands gently on your knees or your lap. Feel the weight of them, the connection to your body, to the present. This is your anchor. Now breathe. Not hurriedly, not anxiously, but with deliberate attention. Inhale slowly through your nose. Let your chest and belly expand like a lantern filling with light. And exhale with the quiet certainty that nothing outside of this moment matters more than your awareness of your own life. 5 minutes seems insignificant, yet it is a threshold. With each breath, notice how thoughts rise like clouds on a summer sky, and instead of chasing them, observe them. Watch them form, drift, and dissipate. Do not judge. Do not cling. This is the monk's first secret. The mind is not the enemy. The mind is a storyteller, a painter, a navigator. But it is also a trickster, weaving illusions that disguise fear, desire, and regret as reality. The ritual teaches you to recognize the storyteller without surrendering to the tale. After a few breaths, bring your attention to the space between thoughts, that fleeting emptiness that is neither thought nor feeling, but pure awareness. It is here, in the quiet gaps, that insight begins to stir, like a hidden spring slowly awakening beneath the surface of the earth. The monk will tell you that this space is your true mind, unbound and unbroken, a place where the past and future do not press upon you, where your potential is not a distant possibility but a present reality waiting to be touched. In this awareness, a question arises. What if the limitations you have carried are illusions? What if fear is merely a story repeated so often that it has taken the form of truth? What if the regret that haunts your nights is simply memory demanding acknowledgement, not imprisonment? Let these questions linger, but do not clutch them. Allow them to dissolve into the awareness you are cultivating. This is the monk's second secret. Transformation is never violent. It does not demand struggle or punishment. It grows quietly, imperceptibly, like moss on stone, altering the surface over time until the world looks different, simply because you see it differently. Now, deepen your practice by focusing on a single word or phrase. Choose something simple, like peace, clarity, or I am present. As you inhale, imagine drawing this essence into your body. As you exhale, release tension, self-doubt, and distraction. Let each repetition be a gentle hammer shaping the contours of your mind, reshaping old neural pathways with the deliberate rhythm of attention and intention. You may notice restlessness arising, a subtle voice claiming that you are wasting time, that life demands action, not meditation. Smile at this voice. It is part of the ritual. The monk calls it the shadow of distraction, the echo of a life lived outside of presence. Acknowledge it and return to your breath, your phrase, your awareness. With every return, neural pathways strengthen, forming a new architecture of attention, focus, and calm. 5 minutes, when fully embraced, is longer than a lifetime of scattered effort, because it is concentrated, deliberate, and undiluted by the chaos of habitual thought. This is why the ritual is so powerful. It is not the duration, but the depth. You may ask, why 5 minutes? Why not 30 or 60? The answer is deceptively simple. A long practice without engagement is just endurance. It becomes another form of distraction, another task on the endless to-do list of life. 5 minutes fully present awakens the mind to its capacity, reminding you that presence is not measured in hours but in intensity, attention, and clarity. As the ritual nears its end, expand your awareness to the body, to the sensations of sitting, breathing, existing. Feel your feet against the floor, your back supported by the chair, the subtle movements of air against your skin. Recognize the miracle that is simply being alive, simply existing, without achievement, without judgment. This is the monk's third secret. Gratitude is not a practice of adding, it is a practice of noticing. It requires no external circumstance, no acquisition, no validation. The 5-minute ritual is complete not when you stand or move, but when awareness, attention, and gratitude converge in a single, silent nod to the present moment. Slowly, gently open your eyes. Carry the calm, the clarity, the insight with you as you return to the world. Notice how small gestures, the sound of your own breath, the feel of a chair beneath you, the light shifting across a room are transformed by your attention. The mind, once a chaotic storm, now has a center. A question remains, what will you do with this center? Will you let it guide your actions, your words, your choices? Or will you allow it to be buried beneath the noise once again? The monk says that true transformation is not in the ritual alone, but in how you carry its essence into every act of life. Carry it into your work, your relationships, your quiet moments alone. Observe your reactions, notice the patterns that emerge, and remember, the mind reshapes itself not through force, but through repeated, deliberate practice. 5 minutes, yes, but repeated daily, is the chisel that sculpts a new reality, a new self, a new way of seeing the world. Consider the metaphor of the sculptor and the marble. At first, the stone is unyielding, indifferent, but the sculptor's repeated, deliberate strikes gradually reveal the form within. The monk ritual is your chisel. Each breath, each awareness, each return to presence is a strike, revealing the hidden form of your mind. The potential that has always existed but remained obscured by distraction and unexamined thought. You may feel impatience, wanting immediate transformation. Do not. Patience is the river that nourishes the tree. The tree does not demand, it grows in its own rhythm. Similarly, the mind reshapes in subtle, cumulative ways. Some days you may notice nothing, and other days, as if overnight, your perception shifts. Colors seem brighter, thoughts clearer, interactions smoother. The world remains the same, yet you are changed because the observer within has matured, strengthened, and awakened. Now, imagine taking this ritual further, layering intention upon intention. After the initial 5 minutes, take a moment to reflect on a single challenge or goal. Observe it without judgment. See it from every angle, as if turning a gem under light. Notice patterns, notice resistance, notice hidden desires. The clarity you cultivated in stillness illuminates your decisions, not as a map rigidly followed, but as a lantern revealing possibilities previously unseen. Here lies the fourth secret. Clarity is not information. It is perception. The monk does not promise answers, but the capacity to see clearly enough that answers reveal themselves in their own time. Some will ask, is this meditation? Is this mindfulness? Is this prayer? The monk would say, it is all of these and none of them. It transcends labels because it is the practice of presence itself. It is a ritual that reminds you that the mind is not a tool to conquer the world, but a companion to navigate it. And within this companion lies both mystery and wisdom, waiting for your attention, waiting for your devotion, waiting for 5 minutes of unbroken presence each day. You may be skeptical. You may think, I am too busy. My mind is too restless. I have too much to do. The monk smiles at this too. The ritual is not about perfection, but about return. The mind will wander. The thoughts will arise. But the act of returning again and again is itself the rewiring. Each return strengthens your capacity to focus, to observe, to choose. This is not trivial. This is alchemy. This is transformation encoded in the very patterns of your thought. Consider the ripple effect of a single stone cast into a pond. One moment of clarity is a pebble. Its ripples touch the edges of perception, touch the relationships you hold, touch the decisions you make, often in ways invisible until weeks or months later. 5 minutes becomes a catalyst, not by force, but by the subtle, unstoppable expansion of awareness. By now you may feel a subtle shift. a sense of openness where rigidity once held sway, a quiet strength where anxiety whispered, a small but undeniable confidence in the capacity of your own mind to notice, choose, and act. This is the fifth secret. Transformation is silent. It does not announce itself with fireworks or declarations. It unfolds quietly, persistently, inevitably, for those who practice with attention and devotion. To integrate the ritual fully, commit to it not as a duty, but as a gift. 5 minutes to yourself, to your mind, to your clarity, to your life. Observe what arises over days, weeks, and months. Notice how decisions are made with greater ease, how emotions settle more readily, how creativity emerges in unexpected moments. This is not magic. It is the natural unfolding of disciplined awareness, guided by simplicity, presence, and intention. And there is one final twist, the monk's paradox. The ritual is not about achieving calm, insight, or clarity. It is about discovering that these qualities have never left you. They were always within, buried beneath habit, distraction, and noise. The 5-minute ritual is merely a mirror, reflecting back the capacity that has always existed within your mind. You are not creating calm. You are remembering it. You are not gaining clarity, you are uncovering it. You're not changing your world. You are recognizing that the world within you was always capable of change, of depth, of freedom. And as you carry this realization into your day, a subtle power awakens. The choices you make, the words you speak, the presence you bring to interactions are transformed. Life does not bend to the ritual. The ritual bends you, aligning your mind, your perception, and your being with the reality of your potential. So take the 5 minutes, sit, breathe, observe, return, repeat, allow. The subtle alchemy of presence to reshape your inner landscape. Let the awareness, clarity, and insight seep into the corners of your mind that have long been neglected, and watch as your thoughts, your decisions, and your world begin to shift, almost imperceptibly at first, and then unmistakably with the quiet inevitability of a dawn breaking. And remember, the ritual is not a secret hidden in monasteries, not a mystery reserved for the enlightened. It is accessible to anyone willing to pause, to breathe, to be fully present for 5 uninterrupted minutes. In those minutes, you hold the key to your own mind. In those minutes, you witness the unfolding of the self that has always been waiting, patient and silent, beneath the noise of modern life. And so the question is not whether this ritual works. The question is whether you will allow yourself to take it. Whether you will commit to the simple, deliberate act of presence that over time rewires the architecture of your mind, shifts your perception, and transforms your life in ways subtle, profound, and lasting. 5 minutes, one ritual, a mind awakened, a life quietly, inexorably transformed. Start today and notice how the world begins to shift, not outside of you, but within you. And if this message resonates, if even a single insight sparks a flicker of awareness, engage with it. Share your thoughts in the comments, let the community hear how you begin your ritual like this. Video to honor the time you are dedicating to presence. And subscribe to Echoes of Greatness to continue exploring the practices that awaken the mind, nourish the soul, and transform the way we see, think, and live. Your journey begins in 5 minutes, and the ripple of those minutes may reach far beyond what you can imagine.